Alright, so I made a recent video about my mining rig. Couldn't get anything to work. Actually, I could get stuff to work. Had the GPUs running, everything just had an issue with the motherboard. Not recognizing any second GPU. Didn't matter if it was this one or that one. Whichever one was plugged up to the main PCI slot 03 was always recognized, and anything else was left off by Windows OS or even Hive OS. So just real quick, just got a basic rig. It's just probably like 115, 120 bucks frame that came with padding. It came with the fans and of course the screws and stuff to mount everything. Ordered a power supply. This is just an EVGA. I think this is a GS 1000, and should be good for 2 GPUs, no matter, even if it is a 3090. Got the BioStar 360. This actually supports 12 GPUs, and we'll get to that in a second, which is one of the main issues of the problems I was having. So as you can see, there are 2 outlets for power here, and I'll have to figure this out later, as I am planning on adding more GPUs, because if I'm going to need any more power supplies than what I have now. As you can see, I don't have another slot, ATX power slot for CPU. So that probably means I'll have to sell these and go up to maybe like an 1800 or something like that. I don't know yet. For now, I only plan on running 4 GPUs. But as you can see, I only have 2 right now. But anyway, Intel i3. This is an older generation CPU. Of course, whenever you're mining, you don't need anything newer generation. CPUs are not really doing anything. The less power draw on your CPU, the better. Trying to think what else I have. Just a don't remember what size Kingston hard drive this is. This thing's pretty hot. But just need enough to run Windows. I mean, of course, whatever machine you're mining on, you certainly don't plan on doing anything else with it. So I didn't really need a big hard drive. What else we got? Just got a just a simple Ethernet Wi-Fi, not Ethernet, but just a Wi-Fi USB connection that's going into the motherboard. So that's the sort of the plan for internet. Bought these risers. I'm not gonna call them El Cheapos, but they do the job as long as they have this 6-pin plus 2 connector. Of course, there's many options for power to your risers. There's the SATA, and then there's the I forget what this is called. I never use it. Moxa, MOX, whatever. I don't know. I forget. I never use these whenever I'm lately, since I've been building PCs. But what's important to know is that, of course, whenever you're using, especially the higher end GPUs, the ones that draw so much power, a lot of power, to use your 6-pin plus 2 to power your GPU. So I've got the GPUs. These are RTX Asus Strix 3090s. These are probably the more expensive ones that you can find if you find them. I've got two of these running. The daisy chain together as far as the power. This is off of the EVGA. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a GS. It's a G5. 1,000 watts. Should be plenty to power these two. They're only putting out probably about 380 watts. I don't have them overclocked at the moment. They should be fine, but maybe later on I'll begin to do a little overclock work. Let's see here. The other power supply is actually connected. It actually is on. And this power supply is actually just doing one thing. It's plugged into the motherboard, of course, just to present power to whatever's connected to. I went out and bought another power supply just for this one riser. That's it. I ran out of connections because everyone knows that whenever there are certain GPUs out there, and maybe I should have went with the Asus TUF instead of the Strix, that the 3090 TUF Asus only has the two 8-pin connectors instead of the Strix and a variety of other 3090 and even some 3080 GPUs. They have pull this off. They have the 8-pin connectors here, so that's going to take up a lot of that will take up a lot of real estate on your power supply down here. So as I was running out of connections, I knew I was going to have to buy another power supply anyway. So instead of waiting 2 days or 3 days to get anything through Amazon, just went on ahead and just ran to Best Buy and bought this. So I'm going to need it anyway. I'm going to start adding more GPUs, but for now, this is the solution to just have two for now and another two 3090s in the near future. That should get me up to maybe about 450 as far as my mega hash per second hash rate. Should be able to make twice as much as what I'm making now. So back to the motherboard. As you can see on this, the issue that I was having was not so much the OS. It looks and appears to be where I had the second GPU plugged into on the PCI lanes. So on the PCI channels here. So I tried PCI 1, PCI 2, this wasn't working. Wouldn't think that any of the other ones would work further down, but it appears that PCI 9 is what worked. I didn't even try any of the other ones, but I'm assuming that it could be an issue with the motherboard. I'm gonna give BioStar a call and let them know that, you know, what's happening. Is this an instance of a bad board, or am I missing anything? I didn't see anything in the instructions that would sort of give me an idea that perhaps I had it. I needed to put the riser's USB connection to the PCI motherboard further down in the channels here. So, but I'll give them a call, figure that out later. But for now, I'm mining. See, as to what I am actually making, I've been up for 2 days now. Not me physically, personally, just I have been, my uptime on the mining has been for 2 days. It's going to be hard to see this. Let's see if I can, there we go. Still not even good, but anyway. Let's see if I can fix the lighting. That might be better. Maybe not. Anyway. I am at ethermine.org. Of course, whenever you're a miner, you're a worker, this is where you're going to come to see how much you're making. As I was running tests, since last Sunday, was not making any money. I thought I was, but that turned out to not be the case. Of course, whenever you mine, of course, you have to have a wallet set up. You have to have some sort of crypto wallet, so you can send all your payouts to. And the wallet that I was using, I had the wrong address, and I don't want you to think that I was sending money to another individual. The address that I had was for something else that was in my wallet, so it wasn't working. I didn't find that out until I got the second GPU and got some help from Minerstat support. But really, I just had to start over from scratch, just sort of just go over everything that I've done to get to this screen, or not this exact screen. This is actually a YouTube video that was helping me out. Franklin Hatchet had a really good tutorial on setting everything up. Really appreciate that. Definitely would subscribe to if I was you guys, definitely subscribe to his channel. He's got about almost half a million subscribers, so trustworthy source there. But anyway, right now this is what I'm pulling in. These are some of the stats that I'm pulling in. I've got two 3090s, and you probably can't see those. And it's not my phone that's the issue. It's just this is a very low resolution display here, so I'm not even gonna worry about that. So we just click on something pretty. But so yeah, I got all that straightened out with my wallet address. Money's looks like something's happening inside of the wallet. Still too early because I just started mining within the last two days, so haven't hit the payout threshold yet. But looks like things are working now. And of course, my two 3090s are working. The hash rates are about 104 a piece. Now this is out of the box. I know a lot of you guys hear stuff on, see videos on YouTube that people are pushing the 3090s at about 127, and that's fine and dandy. I don't have a problem with that. That's their rig. The solution to that is definitely in the overclock profile, which I have not gotten to yet. I just wanted to mine for about a week or so, get myself familiar with the process, make sure I'm getting the payouts, make sure I know what I'm doing, make sure I'm doing all my research, then do a little overclocking. I've overclocked plenty of time in video games. I know that a lot of guys out there are gonna say, oh man, this dude's a noob, and it's pretty much the same thing if you're overclocking with video games. True, that is true, but we're talking about several $1,000s worth of equipment versus probably a $2,500 or $1,500 gaming PC. It's a political difference there. I mean, you know, it's a whole lot different if you break something that's almost $10,000 versus something that's only a couple hundred or a couple thousand. This was a major investment. Of course, it wasn't exactly 10,000, so I'm just throwing a ballpark out there. Um, this is a major investment. This looks crappy. This is sitting on my kitchen table. I'm gonna put it in a safe facility in the house, some place where it will stay a little cooler. Definitely gonna keep some good airflow on this, and hopefully the temperatures, which are sitting at a really good mild 60 degrees, 63. Don't have a problem with those, but of course it would not hurt. It would not hurt to get them a little cooler. So I'm gonna get some good airflow on those. There's really no reason to have these two so close, so I'm gonna separate them. This second GPU that's closer to my camera here is the one that's running the fan at 100%, and you can see why. There's really not a lot of open space for it to breathe, so I'm gonna put this over, probably about another fan leaf down. These little bitty fans are putting out some really cool air, so they're doing their job. But I just think that is sort of negating, if at least for the second GPU, if this guy is sitting too close to the first. So I've got a 3080 upstairs. Haven't got the other two 3090s yet, but I got a 3080 upstairs that I actually am using for gaming. Wasn't interested in plugging that into the mix here because of the LHR issues that I've been hearing about, but I haven't tested, or I haven't, I haven't decided whether I'm going to put that one in this configuration or not. But it is definitely a possibility if the 3080 I have upstairs is not an LHR. If it's not, then we're looking at about 95 megahash per second, which is almost exactly what I'm running now. I mean, these guys are only running at 107, so this is a pretty good stable configuration for both of these 3090s. So I'm thinking that if NiceHash says 120, then, or is it 127 that I think NiceHash has the 3090s listed at, then I'm probably going to be looking at about a good 87 instead of 96 on the 3080 that does not have LHR. So if that's the case, then yes, I will probably pull that one out of there and make it a good 5 GPUs and try to get up to about at least 500 megahash per second. So I mean, that's should be the equivalent of almost over $1,000 per month. Of course, that's not including the power bill. We'll be looking into solar panels for RVs pretty soon to see if that's an actual viable option to go with, rather than just using the solely relying on the house power. So I think that I budgeted things out. As long as I'm not going over about 100, then I should be good. But as far as my home power, but anyway, this is pretty much my setup. Wasn't supposed to be pretty. A lot of miners really don't care what it looks like. I mean, there are a lot of PCs nowadays that are really built on the aesthetics and how they look. Mining computers are certainly not in that category. At least me as a miner, I certainly am not. I don't really care how things look. Got the RGB just simply because it was part of a deal on Amazon, and I went with the Cooler Master just because I've had the experience with it before, and I honestly did not know that this El Cheapo i3 CPU came with its own fan. Had I known that, then I would have not gotten this guy, and that's that. But anyway, I mean, it's all put together now. I'm not gonna take it apart. So everything's, like I said, everything's running pretty stable. Temperatures look good. If there's anything that I could offer anyone out there who's starting to mine, I would tell you that start with the motherboard. I mean, I think that's the more critical part, because that from there really determines what you're prepping for in the future. I mean, you're not gonna buy a six, six channel six channel GPU motherboard if you plan on putting 10 GPUs on it. So I went with 12 because I really didn't know if I were going to go back to the 10 series GPUs and just add more that way, but I just wanted to sort of safe proof everything. I knew I was not going to go over 12. If you're a newbie like myself, if you're somebody who doesn't really plan on using more than two, I would actually recommend going with the BioStar, just to have that option, just to have that flexibility. You certainly don't have to use all 12, but I can see how this can get addicting. I mean, I'm literally making money while I'm asleep, while I'm doing nothing, especially on the weekends when I'm playing with my kids, spending time with my wife and doing yard work or whatever, playing Escape from Tarkov. This thing is literally making money for me, at least as long as we're allowed to mine Ether. So I'm hearing that that's going to come to an end in 2022, but I'm already starting to see talk about 2.0 mining, Ether 2.0. So if the upgrade is going to make it impossible, then I'm pretty sure the miners will move on to something else. If it's going to make it hard, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some alternatives. So I just can't see something this huge coming to an abrupt end. If that's the case, then hey, there's going to be a ton of GPUs available, and looks like the gamers are going to be happy again. So, but for now, I plan on adding more that should pull in a pretty good enough profit to pay the extension on the power bill. Now, one thing, if you guys can help me out, I have not looked into yet, is once the money is in our wallet, where does the tax come in at? How, Uncle Sam is going to always find his way to get its fair share. So, but as of the moment, all the expenses, I mean, everything, the payouts, everything that I'm mining for will be going into a wallet, and it's probably going to stay there. I don't plan on moving anything over into a bank account, not until especially I know all the details of getting prepared for Uncle Sam. So, but this is just one part of my, lifestyle and of investments. This will just go into a closet and just sit there, and I'll easily just maintain everything. I'll, make sure everything's in the nominal ranges and make sure I'm keeping everything cool. Guys, just pretty much just treat your miner like a server room. Everything that system admins or lab techs do to maintain their equipment, whether it could be, hey, I'm at the so-and-so year mark, it's time to change out a motherboard, it's time to, even if they're not breaking, just time to change out connectors, or I doubt I'll ever retire a GPU unless something critical is happening to it. But these things are just too doggone expensive. So I don't live near a micro center, but I got a friend who lives there who can sort of, I'm not going to say hook me up. There's no such thing as a hookup whenever you have insane prices, even at MSRP. I don't care, Nvidia, you guys are freaking crazy for the amount of money you're charging for these. But apparently you know something. I don't think we're ever experienced low prices as we did the last generation, and those weren't even low. So you guys can kiss my tail. I'm going to do whatever I can to get it these things as cheap as I can. But anyway, so yeah, this is my working miner rig after a week of construction. Please drop some comments, guys, in the descriptions. I'm not in the description, in the comment section. I don't really care about the subscription and likes. I'm probably one of the fewest ones who don't really care. I'm not trying to run a YouTube channel. What I need is some guidance on connectors. I'm hearing so often that daisy chaining these GPUs is really not the safest. Not safe. It's not the best thing. I see so many rigs out there. You've got I mean, you've got 4 or 5 GPUs connected to one power outlet or whatever, VGA connector, whatever. That's really been the only thing that I've struggled with. Just making sure everything is safe for one. I don't want to burn my house down or anything like that. So I did research that using SATA was just not the best way to go, and it could potentially be a fire hazard. And any time I hear the word potential, I'm just staying away from it. I went out and bought a fire hydrant to keep sitting near this thing. So, I mean, that's just how crazy I am about trying to be safe first. But I'm gonna clean all these things up. I've got a test bed I'm gonna sit this thing on instead of the box, and it's gonna sit in, like I said, a room to pretty much just to sit in there, because I was okay with one GPU with the noise. I had no problem with it. The second GPU, as soon as it actually caught, and as soon as Minerstat actually recognized it, and the program was actually initializing, this whole entire rig, which is only just 2 GPUs, got extremely loud. The decibel level just climbed almost 3 times. So I imagine once I get 2 or 3 more, it's literally going to be like a server room in whatever place that I've set aside to set this thing in. And plus my custom loop water cooled gaming PC. It's not loud. It's just it's loud enough. It actually has the water reservoir that makes way too much noise. So I'm gonna put all this stuff in a room, pad the room with some noise cancellation material, and just close the door and make money in my sleep. And with that said, I'm gonna leave on that note. Happy mining. Be safe.